Most beginners think investing means picking the right stock, but the truth is, I believe a strong portfolio is built on just 3 simple criteria. As someone with over $500,000 in assets, these are the exact principles I use to keep my investing simple and stress-free. Wealth building should feel simple because, to me, financial freedom isn't about obsessing over charts or checking your portfolio every day. If it's complicated, stressful, or feels like a second job, I don't want it. So this is a special investing tutorial made for my complete beginners and anyone who wants a clear step-by-step way to build a long-term portfolio. In this video, I'll share my 3 golden criteria for long-term growth, how diversification works inside all-in-one ETFs, and how to grow your money in a realistic, stress-free way. To make this actionable for Canadians, I'm partnering with BMO ETFs, the sponsor of this video, one of Canada's leading asset managers, to show you a simple all-in-one solution built specifically for long-term investors. So grab your notebook, hit like, and let's get into the first criterion. Criterion 1, your asset allocation. What are you investing in? When I say asset allocation, I'm really just asking one question. What mix of stocks and bonds are you choosing? That just means, are you investing in large companies that are more stable or smaller companies that have higher growth potential but could also have potential higher risk, or you're investing in bonds or a mix of both? For my complete beginners, let me help you understand the types of assets that you can invest in. It's simpler than you think. Stocks are the growth engine of your portfolio. They move more, meaning that your investment value could go up and down more often. But over the long term, if you shift your mindset to think at least 5+ years ahead, and if you also refer to the past 50-year performance, stocks have been trending up consistently. Therefore, stocks are commonly known as growth assets. Aside from stocks, there is another asset class called bonds. Bonds are known as stabilizers. A bond is a fixed income investment that acts as a loan made by an investor to a borrower, typically a corporation or government. They don't usually grow as fast as stocks, but they also don't fluctuate as much. They're there to protect your portfolio, maintaining value while generating slower growth, especially when the stock market can feel turbulent. So your first decision to make when building a portfolio isn't which stock should I pick. The first question to ask yourself is, how much growth do I want versus how much stability do I need? Generally, I would say if you're in your 20s, you would have 30+ years to invest for your retirement. So in that case, you might prefer holding more growth stocks than stable assets like bonds. If your goal is to preserve value or you have a relatively large amount of cash that you might need soon, then you might prefer more bonds. There's no perfect mix of assets. Each mix is individual to each person. You should think about what is the right combination that helps you stay invested so that you can truly benefit from the compounding effect over time. The reason why we started with types of assets as our first criterion is because we want to diversify and spread our risk. Now, don't overthink it yet. Let me give you my second golden criterion, which is going to help you understand how we can achieve diversification in your portfolio. Criterion 2, geographic diversification, putting your money into global markets. Most people only think about the US stock market because the US market is widely known. Yes, the US market has many growth tech companies and many companies that pay dividends, but there are years when Canadian markets outperform the US, for instance, the year of 2025. There are also emerging markets from other continents in the world that can be worth considering. As an investor, I prefer to spread my money across Canada, US, and international markets. That way, my growth is not dependent on one economy, which also means that I'm not betting on one government or tied to one country's success. That's what real diversification actually looks like. You can diversify into multiple asset classes and countries. I know some of you are thinking about the next step now. So Joyee, how can investors actually build a diversified portfolio? If you're following this tutorial so far, don't worry. My goal is to give you actionable takeaways and hope there is something you can learn and apply to your portfolio right after this. But before that, I need you to follow me closely to our final criterion because it's the most important of all. And if you're enjoying today's video so far, feel free to hit the like button. Criterion 3, your risk profile and time horizon. This is the most important decision that you need to make as an investor. Remember, investing is not a get-rich-quick scheme. When you invest, you are converting your money into long-term assets, not a short-term lottery ticket. So, how long are you willing to let your assets grow? Ask yourself, are you going to need the money in the near future or need the cash right away? These are simple yet important questions to consider. Your time horizon can help decide your risk profile, which means how well you can stay patient when your asset value fluctuates in the short term. Two people can buy the exact same ETF. One sleeps peacefully, The other might check their portfolio 5 times a day. The difference is in your risk profile. Let me ask you something simple. If your portfolio drops 15% next month, would you panic and sell? Or would you say, it's okay, I'm investing for 20 years, I'll just wait? Be honest with yourself because your time horizon changes everything. If this money is for retirement 30 years away, short-term drops are likely going to matter less to you. But if this money is for a down payment in 2 years, you likely cannot afford big swings. Long-term money can usually take more swings over time, which is why you might have more equity exposure. On the other hand, if your money is rather short-term, you might want to consider more diversification and more stable assets in your portfolio, like bonds. The best portfolio is not the one with the highest return. It's the one that helps you stay consistent with your investing goals. Now, what if I tell you it doesn't have to be super complicated, and that whether you're low risk or high risk, there is an easy solution? Remember, I started this video by making one thing clear. I don't like to complicate investing, so I'm definitely not teaching you what stocks to buy and how to find the next hot stock. But I will share how I put my money into a basket that's widely diversified, including companies across all parts of the world and through many different industries. How? Well, with an all-in-one ETF solution. What is an all-in-one ETF? An ETF stands for Exchange Traded Fund. In simple terms, it's a basket of assets managed by professionals. Instead of buying one single stock, you can buy a collection of stocks, or sometimes a big basket of stocks and bonds inside one fund. There are many different types of ETFs, which I can dive deeper in a next video. There are many types of ETFs that serve different objectives. For investing, our job is to use ETFs as our tools to diversify without picking any individual stocks. If you're building your portfolio as a beginner investor, one ETF I'd like to highlight is the BMO All Equity ETF, ticker ZEQT. It's designed as an all-in-one solution that gives you instant diversification across Canadian, US, and international stocks, all inside a single fund. This ticker helps me stay investing stress-free because the ETF does the heavy lifting. It meets all of my 3 golden criterion that I shared with you earlier. Let's verify the objective and performance of this ETF together. This is the BMO All Equity ETF, ticker symbol ZEQT. First, I always read the objective. You can see that it's designed to provide long-term growth by investing in a diversified portfolio of global equity ETFs. In simple words, it holds stocks from Canada, the US, and international markets. So with one ETF, you're already globally diversified, which checks our criterion number 2. Now let's look at the holdings. You'll notice that it doesn't just hold individual companies, it actually holds other broad market ETFs inside, such as the emerging, mid-cap, and small cap. What I love about this ETF is that it's truly diversified in terms of sectors. The distribution in IT, which includes tech stocks, is almost equally weighted as the financial sector, which includes the banks. This is not the type of balance that you see in S&P 500 ETFs, for example. A little context for my beginners, the S&P 500 index has been dominated by the tech giants that are heavily driven by the AI narrative. So, in my opinion, it's no longer a well-diversified index. With ZEQT, you see a nice balanced distribution in terms of sectors, and they also show you the geographical breakdown here. Today, you get a 24.46% exposure to Canadian markets, which have been growing faster than US in recent months, and many other countries including China, Taiwan, France, etc. This ETF meets our criteria 1 and 2 regarding what assets and where we want to put our money at. Now let's look at the price chart since inception. You can see that this ETF is a long-term growth ETF, trending up nicely since its launch, reflecting the power of diversification. It is also now even more cost-effective, with management fees lowered to 0.15%. Who is ZEQT suitable for? Honestly, in my opinion, any investor could take advantage of this all-in-one solution. Think about our criterion 3, your time horizon and risk tolerance. You still control your overall risk by deciding what percentage of your portfolio you want to allocate to ZEQT. Some people may choose to make it a large portion of their portfolio because they prioritize diversification growth in the long run. Some may use it as a base layer and add other stocks or ETFs on top. But personally, I believe ZEQT can act as a foundation for any investor's portfolio. Why? Because it ensures that a portion of your money is always diversified across global markets. It's growth-oriented, but can also be relatively lower risk due to global diversification. Most importantly, for investors who want to keep things simple, ZEQT helps us avoid decision fatigue. I also have ZEQT in my TFSA because it's one of my core ETFs that help me stay stress-free. I don't need to adjust my sector exposure or worry much about being too heavy on the US markets because it's already done for me in this all-in-one ETF. So remember what I said earlier. The goal is to build something strong that you can actually stick with. ZEQT is one of BMO's all-in-one ETFs, but there are many more you can choose from based on your own objectives and risk profile. If you resonate with my investing approach, don't forget to take action today. I also have many beginner-friendly investing tutorials and ETF explanations on this channel. Don't forget to give this video a like if you want to see more videos like this, or comment below with what BMO all-in-one ETF you're going to use. Thank you BMO ETFs for sponsoring this video, and check out the link below to learn more about BMO's all-in-one ETFs. I've linked the details below.